Hello and welcome to the second beer review of the day when England play, which is why I'm doing this early so I can get on the settee, watch England play, hopefully win, hopefully play well, because let's be fair, I'm sick of watching them play crap. Got the world's most expensive league, the Premier League, with it's the best league in the world. It's not like La Liga and all the other leagues where there's two teams that can win it. La Liga, there's only Real Madrid, Barcelona and maybe Atletico Madrid. Germany, you've only got Bayern Munich. Italy's a bit more like us, I suppose. But anyway, going off on a tangent. Today I'm going to review, for some strange reason, I bought this the other week and then I bought it again. So it's Courage Best Bitter. It's a 3.6%, so I'm not expecting anything great from this. Looked on the website. Apparently nowadays it's owned by the people who met Bombardier. It was started, Courage & Co was started by John Courage. Obviously that's where the Courage name comes from. At the Anchor Brew House in Bermondsey in 1787. So you've got to respect that, heritage there. Trying to read the rest of it. Right. So about the beer in Courage Best Bitter. 4% in cask and keg. 3.8% in bottles and cans. Why the hell do you make it different in bottles and cans? Would it not be the same, just the same strength throughout? I mean, it says 3.8 there. Yeah, it definitely says 3.8 on Wikipedia. It's actually 3.6. So, either somebody's got it wrong or they've lowered it. And what we've got to realise with in Scotland, just going off on a little tangent, Scotland are bringing in the price per unit of ale. Now, I read about it, and it's staggering. Spirits are actually priced already at the right price. When it comes to your ciders, like your Diamond Whites, basic cider from Sainsbury's, them sort of things. So that say they're now about, I don't know, say £3 a bottle. Because of the units in them, especially if it's like a Diamond White, because it's quite a strong cider, it's going to go up to something like £9 a bottle because of the units inside that bottle. And you imagine, the people that drink that, and the likes of Lamborghini and all that sort of stuff, predominantly people who don't drink decent stuff because that stuff's rancid. Sorry, Lamborghini. But obviously that takes effect across the whole alcohol industry. So wines and that, you've got to worry about that. We don't want that coming into England, England, Wales, Northern Ireland. Because I don't know why they're doing it in Scotland, I'm sure the Scottish people think, hold on a minute, you can pack that in, get rid of these bloody MPs that are voting it in. But minimum alcohol thing. There's ways to educate people than just doing that. And yeah, alcohol causes things, but let's be fair, luck of the draw causes a lot of it. People die because of, it's just the luck of the draw. Some people can smoke and drink all their lives excessively, never be ill, and others, so it's all luck of the draw. But quite interesting that it's gone down to 3.6%. So maybe they're trying to. That's why the price of this is generally it's about £1 everywhere you go. It's not an offer. £1 is the price you pay. £1 for a bottle of beer is decent anyway. It's described as a pale colour, fully balanced with a malty flavour and distinctive hop character, and makes for an easy drinking session beer. So it's never going to be an outstanding beer if they're describing it as a session beer. On beeradvocate.com. They've got it. It's brewed by Wells and Young now, so it's amazing. Where, you know, when you work in, I've worked in Sainsbury's on their beers, wines and spirits department, and you don't realise that the likes of Foster's is made by Heineken. Obviously Heineken's made by Heineken, and Strongbow's made by Heineken, and it's amazing how so many a few companies own so many brands. You'd think it'd be all little breweries, but no, that's not the case. So 3.08 out of 5, which is only slightly less than the Harvest Pale I reviewed about 20 minutes ago. Let's have a look at some reviews before I take a review. This person's given it a 3.28 out of 5. Served in a pint glass in London. Clear copper colour beneath a creamy inch of foamy head that left sheets of fuzzy lace. Oh, you've got to love the stuff they come out with. Tons of fine bubbles cascaded down the liquid. Nose is metallic, penny copper, amber scents, very light and bready. Taste follows the nose with bready and light flavours. A peppery hop in the finish is light, but balances out the slightly bready notes. Super light body, slick and watery, served warm. Smooth, slick, low carbonation. Decent bitter, decent beer, left me wanting more. Now this bloke knows his bread, obviously. I'll pick another one out that actually describes it. Oh. Though drank on cask, due to this being reduced through time and cost saving to brown twig water, review. So he's just put as an okay bitter. That was a crap review. Right. Reviews are going anything from 2 even to 4. So some like it, some don't. So with your beers, you like it or you don't like it. As we all know. 500ml bottle. ABV is stated as 3.8, so it's definitely lower. That was in 2012. So 6 years on, it's gone down. Oh no! Right. For some strange reason, the light went off. I thought the battery was going. Turned out doing reviews twice. Gold amber colour of medium carbonation forms a decent head of white foam that lasts for a minute or so before subsiding. Aroma is pretty weak. Yeah, well, you're going to get that one, let's be fair. A faint hint of grainy caramel malt and little else. Taste of grainy caramel malt with a dry finish. No bread. Where's the bread? Slightly sweet with a faint of stewed hops. Pretty mild, not much bitterness to be found. Mouthfeel is smooth, tingly and reasonably full-bodied. Not much aftertaste, just a whisper of malt. Surprisingly bland, particularly for a bitter. It's more like a mild really, hardly any hop presence. The balance is okay and it doesn't have any flaws. It just fails to excite me on any level. Its best characteristic is the body, although I wonder if the added stabiliser plays a part in this. At any rate, drinkable but nothing special. And that's what we're going to do. Let's crack it open. Right, here's the pour. Nice colour to it. Bubbles in it. I can see the carbonation coming up. I don't think this is one of them glasses that's got the widget in the bottom, so we're not getting it like you would on others. So that, with my last review, I'll have to note that. I try and use the same glass. Yeah, lovely amber copper colour. Nice head on it. Malty, you definitely get the malted taste. I'm not getting bread. Unless it's a funny bread that I don't normally taste. You have to love some of the beer reviews. I've watched a lot of beer reviews. because obviously we've all got our own opinion, and it's nice, you know. I've got my opinion, you've got your opinion, everyone's got their opinions. I mean, I seen somebody reviewing beers, and I thought, well, why don't I do that, you know? Even if it's just for me, you know, even if I'm the only one watching these videos, you know, it's interesting. Smell wise, I'm not really getting any smell from it. But obviously, that might be because I do suffer with a hay fever. At this time of the year, you know, we're middle of June. It's still rather prevalent. And you can see where the reviews come into this. This is one of them beers that you'll go to a pub, and if it's cheap, you'll buy it, you'll drink it, you know. And when people say it's nothing special, it's nice, don't get me wrong. And the further I get down the pint, there's a light maltiness. What did that other bloke say? Yeah, grainy, taste of grainy caramel malt with a dry finish. I'll go along with that. I'll agree with what that is. Others described it as bland. When I compare this to, you know, two that I reviewed yesterday, which were both very strong in flavour, this doesn't, you know, it doesn't compare. It's a nice beer still. You know, it's a good beer for somebody who's not a massive fan of strong tasting stuff, you know. And to say it's 3.6%, it doesn't taste overly weak either. There's a difference in taste between that and the 4.3% I've just reviewed. But it, you know, it's still nice. You know, they've been brewing it for a long while. They know what they're on about. Very curious why they're bringing the volume down. One brings it up by 0.6. This one's gone down by 0.2 over the years. So whether this is a trend, I mean, I personally would rather taste. Obviously, we all want beers that taste nice, because if they taste crap, we don't want to be drinking them. I find for me one of the worst tasting beers, and a mate of mine bought me it once in the Bluebell Inn in Nottingham. Paid £3.50 for a pint, and he's dead tight as well. And if he watches this, he'll know who he is. Hey Keith. And he bought me this pint of what was it bloody called now? It's gone off the tip of my tongue. It's a white beer. Oh no, I've lost it. No, it's gone. But anyway, it was rancid, you know. And I couldn't drink anymore. It's me saying hobgoblin. It's not hobgoblin. Anyway, back to this beer. Let me put some in my mouth and do the old through your teeth thing. There's not much there at all. So, what this bloke was saying, caramel malt, you know, it's like a vague caramel malt. It's one of them beers. It's similar to basically like your John Smiths and a Caffrey's and beers like that, Tetley's and them sort of beers, where it's nothing special, but it's bought en masse, and those sort of beers are bought en masse because of the price. And this perfectly acceptable beer, especially at £1. I mean, let's be fair, £1 for near enough a pint, you know, you can't go wrong. It's nothing special. Lovely and clear, good carbonation. I can still see it, even in this glass, which hasn't got the old widgety thing on the bottom. I can still see it carbonating, which is good. Out of 5. Oof. I'm going to go with about 3.6. I don't think it deserves any more than that. You know, there's not much to it. And if I'd have had this first and then the Harvest Pale that I've just reviewed, you know, I might have scored it lower. But, yeah, 3.6. Yeah, it doesn't need to be any more than that. What do you think at home? You know, please comment and see what you think. I'd love to hear what other people's, because obviously, you know, if I'm wrong, then I'm, you know, I mean, I've tried Courage Directors, and that's around about 5%, if memory serves me right, and that is a nice beer. And in fact, it's a beer that you can actually brew at home yourself, you know, a homebrew beer. So one of these days I'll get around to doing it, because you know, when it came into Sainsbury's, I was there and I thought, oh, I've got to get some of that. And we used to reduce stuff for sale and reduce it down to some silly prices at the time, and at 50p a can, you know, 50p a can. No wonder I started drinking lots more, because at that price it's like, oh, I'm having some of that. Yeah, I do get some hoppiness from it. It's not going to increase my review, but it is what it is. You know, it's wherever you go, it's the same price. If anybody's charging more than £1 for this, they're robbing you. You know, I know it's £1 in both Morrison's and I think Tesco's, but anywhere else, I'm not sure. It's actually a nice beer, you know, you got to the end of it and it's definitely drinkable, you know, you'd want to drink it again. It's not one of them that, like the milk stout I tasted yesterday, I reviewed yesterday, the Cameron's milk stout, look at that review. I rated that more because it, on a single pint, it delivered more. But on a pint that you can drink again, Courage Bitter is one of them you can drink again and again, you know. So maybe in reviews, maybe all people who do reviews will look at their reviews and think, you know, do we add points for drinkability, you know, and the fact that some beers you can drink more of. Or do you base it on a single pint? Something to think about. Thanks for watching. Cheers.